Welcome everybody to my latest video. So for this video, I thought I'd go over some differences between what I consider the two most popular multi-jamma adapters. Now, if you've never heard of a multi-jamma adapter or a multi-adapter, it's basically an item that will allow you to install multiple JAMMA games into a single cabinet. Now, there's many different variations, versions, whatever you want to call it. There's 2 slots, 3 slots, 4 slots. I believe there's a 5 slot. There's a very popular 6 slot. And I think even somewhere there's a 7 slot. So kind of think of it almost like a Neo Geo motherboard. Now, some of these multi-adapters, they're for specific games. For example, I think Suzo Hap has a double slot multi-adapter. However, it's geared towards Incredible Technologies games. I guess it's so you can install an older game and a newer game. Something like from the 90s and from, 2005 and above. Now that adapter, that thing's like $500, I think. But back on track, let me show you what I have here. Now you may recognize this unit right here. On the left we have your basic double JAMMA adapter. These are usually made in China, I believe. And you can get them anywhere between $35 to $50. There are places that want more, and why are you going to spend more? Now on my right hand side, you got Mike's double JAMMA adapter. I made a video about this adapter not too long ago. Highly recommended. But let me show you the pros and the cons. And then maybe this video will help you decide which adapter you want to purchase. Now, first of all, this one right here. You can get this on eBay. JammaBoards.com has it. Holland Computers has them. Just about any place that sells arcade-related hardware, you're probably going to find this one. Now, it is cheaper. Like I said, you can get it between $35 to $50. Does cheaper always mean better? No. Does more expensive always mean better? Not really. It's all based on your preferences. Now, I've had each of these for some time, and I've had multiple of these. I had a previous model. This is the newer model that I've had. I just picked it up about a month or so ago. And then, of course, you know about this one. Actually, by the time I released this video, I would have had these for over a couple months. But anyways, getting back to these. Now, you got your pros and your cons for each one. So, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Hopefully you can focus in on it. Real simple design. Does look pretty nice. We got a little sticker right here. Warranty void if removed, blah blah blah. So the way this works is, just one second. Okay, we're back. Had a little something fall. It was actually a marquee. But anyways, the way this one works is you stick your JAMMA harness in here. Man, I got stuff just falling everywhere. Okay, so once again, you stick your harness in here. Here's where your other boards go. Now, the good thing about this is it can also act as sort of a converter. Now, I've never used it as a converter, so I don't know the quality, but apparently, if you look right here, this is where your regular JAMMA connections are for your arcade monitor. So it looks like if you have a computer monitor or something that uses a VGA connection, you take your JAMA harness connectors, you put them in here, and then from here you would install a cable to go to your VGA monitor. Now it looks, if I'm correct, the opposite works here. If you have a VGA connection and you want to go to an arcade monitor, you go from here to here. I think that's how it goes. I've never used it for that purpose, so I don't know the quality. If anybody here who's watching this video, if you know the quality, feel free to leave a comment. So that's one nice thing about this unit right here. Now the other pro is, you see the holes right here? That's perfect because it allows you to put the feet to a PCB. If you don't know what I'm talking about, let me get some samples. Okay, we're back, and this is what I'm talking about. These PCB feet. So what's nice is it's got holes where you can install these. That way when you place it in your cabinet, it's not laying flat on a surface, and you don't have to worry about messing up the bottom side. So everything right there that I showed you is a pro. It's cheap. You might be able to use it as a converter. It's got the holes for the feet. Is there a con? Well, yeah. One, as far as I know, these are made in China. So that doesn't always mean it's a bad thing, but you know what they say. If things are made in China, chances are it's not as good quality. I've had a couple of these. My success rate is probably about, I think I've had 3 good ones and 1 bad one. So go with that. The other con about this is, well, here you are. This is where you're supposed to put your PCBs. Now, games can be huge and heavy. So if you think about it, you have this in your cabinet. You got this big old giant PCB hanging out here. Another big ass one hanging out here. It's going to get some wobbly effect. And you're going to have to make something that way it steadies the PCBs you insert. The alternative is to get a JAMA extension harness. And you stick it in here, and then you can have your PCB on the side of the arcade or wherever you want. Of course, if you don't have an extension harness already, you're going to have to purchase them. So that's a con. Now, the other thing about this, the older models, if I remember correctly, they had a remote. In fact, the one I did have, it was a remote. You press the button and it would switch between the games. This newer model, the remote is not present. It looks like they took that function out, and instead you have this contraption right here. It's just a push button or a switch actually, and you install it down in there, and when you want to switch games, go from one to the other. So, that I guess is a con. I would have liked to have the remote. Maybe too many people are having problems with the remote. I don't know. But now I have to place this on my cabinet somewhere and make it look nice or, out of the way. So take that with a grain of salt. Decide for yourself, is this the one for you? Now, here we got Mike's double JAMA adapter. This is the first one I've had, and really hasn't given me any problems. It's a very good piece of hardware. So let's go over the pros. Well, first of all, here's how this works in case you don't remember. You got, let's see, where is it? Here we go. Right here is where your JAMA harness to your arcade goes. Right here is where your other PCB board goes. And then right here is where your included extension harness goes. And then the other side goes to your secondary PCB. Now the good thing is, when you buy one of these, it comes with a standard 18-inch length JAMMA extension harness. It comes included in the price. If 18 inches isn't enough for you, then they have a 30-inch harness, and that is for an extra, I think it's $11. If that's still not enough for you, they come with a 60-inch harness, and that is an extra $16. I was looking on my phone just to verify a price, but you might remember this from a video I posted not too long ago. Good hardware. How do you switch games? There's no rocker switch on here. There's no remote. So in case you don't know, the way you switch games is by pressing both the player 1 and player 2 start buttons at the same time. So it's nice that there's no additional things to get in the way. You don't have to deal with a remote. You don't have to deal with a switch. You know, at least in terms of like this. But if you're playing, you know, say Ninja Turtles, and both player 1 and 2 hit the start buttons, they both hit the start buttons at the same time, well, it's going to switch games. So that's something that can get in the way. The other downside is if you're installing this in a cabinet that only has controls for one player, then you gotta do some minor modifications on the wiring, you know, that way you can switch games. Now this one is more expensive. The standard unit with an 18-inch harness, it's $135, not counting shipping. So that right there you can maybe take as a con, because it does cost more. In fact, you can probably get what? 4 of these for the price of one of these. So you have to decide which one is better for you when it comes to dollars. Now, the other con about this that I don't like is, unlike this unit where you can attach the feet, this unit does not have anything. You cannot attach any feet to this. So what you're going to be having is, this is going to be connected to one game. You're going to have your JAMMA harness here. You got kind of a wavy effect. That's one design flaw I do not like. So, you know, when I finally do install this, I'm going to put some padding on the floor or on the bottom of this. That way, I don't have to worry about it rubbing against the wood of the cabinet and scratching things up. So now that I've kind of gone over everything, you can decide which harness or which double JAMMA adapter is perfect for you. Again, you have many things to decide. One costs a lot more than the other. One is apparently made in the USA, the other one isn't. One comes with a harness, one doesn't. It all depends on what your needs are. So feel free to ask any questions. I'm probably going to install one of these in the cabinet that I'm working on right now. You might see the cabinet before or after, who knows. So until next time.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Looks like it's been sitting for a while. It does work.